Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another 10 video ads video, this time concentrating on LaserDiscs. I have quite a backlog of video ads to show, so I need to go ahead and get this video done. All of these discs came from ABCLasers, which is one of the shops that sells through the LaserDisc database, except one, which came from Yesterday and Today, which is the seller I buy LaserDisc from at one of the local flea markets. He's got one of the few climate-controlled shops there. And he's lately been selling his LaserDisc for $1 a piece. Anyway, unless I say otherwise, they came from ABCLasers. The American President. Now, included in this batch of 10 is a title that is in a rare packaging variation, but more on that when I get to it. Okay, this next film is one that I already have on VHS, and I have it on DVD, and it's a bad movie. So I hear some of you asking, well, why'd you buy it on LaserDisc? I gotta be me. I gotta be me. Cannonball Run II. Now, one of the first things I do when I get a new batch of LaserDiscs in is that I go to the LaserDisc database and I search for that particular release, and then I check all the information that's in the database for that release against my copy. Now, the database had this as being manufactured by Pioneer's US plant, and they had the mint marks to prove it. Turns out mine was manufactured by Pioneer's Japanese plant. So now, for manufacturer, instead of saying Pioneer USA, it says multiple sites, and then there's a section for mint marks, and it has Pioneer USA and the mint marks, Pioneer Japan, and none, because this has no mint marks, none. Early, when Pioneer first got their plant going, they were not including mint marks. However, they soon switched to hand scratched in mint marks, and those are hard to read. And then they switched from that to machine stamped. The only other company that didn't use mint marks at a time in their manufacturing history was PDO UK in England, and they never used mint marks. But this was pre PDO UK, so they couldn't have made it. Oh. The cast includes Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Jamie Farr. All of them were in the original Cannonball Run. Mary Lou Henner, Telly Savalas, Shirley MacLaine, Susan Anton, Catherine Bach, Jackie Chan, who was in the first one, Richard Keel, and Frank Sinatra. This was directed by Hal Needham, who directed the first one, and he also directed Smokey and the Bandit, and I believe Smokey and the Bandit 2. Oh, something just popped into my head. There was a third Cannonball Run film, which for the longest time I didn't know, because it's not known as Cannonball Run 3 at most places. It's known as Speed Zone, I believe. That or Speed Trap, but I'm thinking Speed Zone. And it's known in the UK as the Cannonball Rally. Talk about Cannonball Run 3. This is Cannonball Run 2. All three Cannonball films open the same way. Cops are chasing a Lamborghini, and over that chase footage are the credits for all of the actors that are in it. Surprising number of major stars in both major and minor parts in these films. And the third one has John Candy in it and Joe Flaherty of SCTV, for example. But not Burt Reynolds or Dom DeLuise. The only cast member to have appeared in all three Cannonball Run films was Jamie Farr. This is the one I got at yesterday and today at the flea market for $1. I already had 2 copies of it. I went ahead and bought it again for 2 reasons. It was only $1, and this is a notorious release, not for defects, but confusion factor. It was released with catalog reference number 52236. It was subsequently replaced with a repressing. It had been remastered, but they used the same jackets. Some of the jackets have the correct reference number for the re-release, but most have the reference number from the first release. This is one of them. Catalog reference number 52236 on the jacket. Catalog reference number 78806 on the labels. Now, you're probably thinking, well, somebody could have just got the wrong discs and the wrong jackets when they were buying used copies or whatever. There have been people at the LaserDisc database who have bought sealed copies of the second release and found the wrong reference number on the spine. Okay. Speaking of John Candy, Delirious. Also has Merrill Hemingway, Raymond Burr. Never seen that movie. Green Card. Now, I have been entering in my DVD collection at DVD Aficionado. It's an online database for DVDs and Blu-rays. And I was surprised to learn that this film is known by a different title in the UK. In the UK, it has a name like Big Shot or The One Shot or something along those lines. But its proper title is Hoosiers. I guess they figured not everyone in the UK knows what a Hoosier is. Basketball. That's my only clue. Okay, here's one that when I went to enter it in at the LaserDisc database into my collection, I found that it had been released with 2 different masters, different artwork, but the same reference number. Dealing once again with MCA. They created a catalog referencing system for Discovision, MCA Discovision. And then when they sold their plant to Pioneer, who shut it down and retooled it, they used the same catalog reference numbers when they switched to the name MCA Video Disc Incorporated. Then they would later switch to MCA Home Video. And they kept the same catalog reference numbers except they removed the dash. Then they went to MCA Universal Home Video and changed the numbering system altogether. Play Misty for me. As I said, this release was actually 2 releases, 2 different masters, 2 different jackets, same reference number, 12-024, which is a DiscoVision number, and an MCA home video number, if you take out the dash. Yes, I know I'm repeating myself. Okay. Hopefully I can do this without totally messing it up. Rare packaging variation time. There were only a handful of these released in the US. And in most cases, it's hard to use a word like most when there were only a small handful that were released this way. But they released them in a standard jacket and then this type of jacket, or this type of case, and then included a survey card for you to fill out and send back in to give your preference as to which you prefer. Apparently not a lot of people like these. I think they look kind of cool, but they do have a design flaw. This is Silence of the Lambs. Image released a couple of titles this way in both the standard jacket and please stay in a digipack. I begged it to stay in because these are notorious for falling out. From what I understand, digipacks are what Muse High Vision High Def LaserDiscs were released in Japan. But we didn't get that particular variation on the LaserDisc format here, so unless you collect Muse High Vision, your chances of coming across a digipack are relatively slim. Another oddity, again involving MCA. I had never seen this sort of thing before, and that is them releasing a title through Image Entertainment, either as just the distribution part of it, or they just didn't want to release it themselves and they licensed it to Image. In any event, this gun for hire. Now, I love this jacket art. MCA typically self-distributed their LaserDiscs. I had never run across one before distributed by Image. Now, it might be more common than I realize for this sort of thing, but I had never run across it before, and I've been collecting LaserDiscs since 1982, but I got my first player in 84. But I've been collecting LaserDiscs for a long time, and I've never seen this before. I've never seen a digipack before either. Now, for the vast majority of the time the Image released LaserDiscs, they used a cataloging system that started with 2 letters, ID, and then a 4-digit number, followed by a 2-letter suffix, which would indicate which company had licensed the title to Image. But when they first started as a publisher of porn, they started off with just I dash and then 4-digit number, and then there's this variation, ID dash 5126, but no 2-letter suffix. More confusion due to MCA. Thank you very much. Parent company at the time to Universal Studios. Co-inventor of the LaserDisc format. And a pain in the you-know-what to keep straight when you're collecting their titles. And finally, for this video, Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris. What film am I talking about? Unforgiven. Now I already have this on VHS and I have it on DVD. So it's another one of those I gotta be me moments. And no, I'm not gonna break out into song again. A lot more videos to show, so until next time, stay awesome.